morning, Douglas. Boy, it is good to be back. Whew-wee. I can tell you what, though. I had a wonderful Easter break. I missed you all. What about you guys? Did you guys have a good Easter break? Yeah. I'll take that as a yes. I mean, I would. Well, but anyways, I feel like so much has happened these past 2 weeks. There's been so much news. Where do you begin? There's like all this stuff.
I see an America strong enough to deter foreign aggression.
Can it be?
Yet wise enough to avoid unnecessary intervention.
It is! Yes! I don't want to talk about you guys. Rand Paul! Yes! As some of you may have realized, Rand Paul announced that he is going to run for president yesterday. Yes. A freshman senator himself, he wishes to do better than Barack 3 years in the Senate Obama. Because apparently that's where he went wrong. You know, Obama has stayed just 3 years longer, all of our problems would have been solved. But, to be fair, Paul has created a name for himself by being an anti-establishment candidate, while at the same time being part of the establishment. But, you know, Rand Paul has gone so far to be anti-establishment that he's erased the title he spent millions of dollars trying to get and replaced it with his original title, Dr. Rand Paul. It's what politicians like to call an April Fool's joke. You thought I wanted to be senator? No. Why would I do that? Being president's where it's at, yo. Diggity dog. Paul, what are you doing? Did you think that 51% of voters were going to forget what you've been for the past 6 years? This Dr. Rand Paul is a pretty cool guy. Oh, you mean Senator Rand Paul? No, I mean Dr. Paul. He's a much cooler guy. He even has a perm, too. Pretty ballsy stuff, right? I'm just glad I don't have to hear from that senator guy anymore. I mean, really? Well, maybe his words are better outside his head than they are inside. Let's see what good old Randy Pauly had to say.
In many ways, Rand Paul's platform for president sounds a lot like the 2010 Tea Party credo he used to snatch his Senate seat from the GOP establishment.
Too often, when Republicans have won, we've squandered our victory by becoming part of the Washington machine. That's not who I am.
But any successful presidential run would require a much larger coalition. And Paul insists he will build it by bringing what he calls opportunity through liberty to minority communities who usually vote for Democrats.
This message of liberty is for all Americans, Americans from all walks of life.
Paul is also inheriting throngs of young, enthusiastic activists inspired by his father and fellow libertarian, former presidential candidate Ron Paul.
I say the phone records of law-abiding citizens are none of their damn business.
But his father's appeal had limits. For Rand Paul to win the White House nomination now, he's been moving towards mainstream GOP positions. No doubt why here, Ron Paul was seen but not heard. And while some rhetoric mirrored anti-interventionist views of his dad, like opposing foreign aid,
I say it must end. I say not one penny more to these haters of America.
Much of his foreign policy talk was aimed at proving to GOP hawks he's no isolationist.
The enemy is radical Islam. You can't get around it. I will do whatever it takes to defend America from these haters of mankind.
But even before he announced, the man who made infamous Swift boat ads against John Kerry released one against Paul for his stance on Iran.
Rand Paul is standing with him.
In an unusual move for an announcement speech, Paul got into the weeds to explain his Iran position, saying he would oppose any deal that doesn't end Iran's nuclear ambitions, but
trust but verify is required in any negotiation, but that our goal always should be and always is peace, not war. I see an America strong enough to deter foreign aggression, yet wise enough to avoid unnecessary intervention. I see an America where criminal justice is applied equally, and any law that disproportionately incarcerates people of color is repealed. I see an America with a restrained IRS that cannot target, cannot harass American citizens for their political or religious beliefs. I see our big cities once again shining and beckoning with creativity and ingenuity, with American companies offering American jobs. With your help, this message will ring from coast to coast. A message of liberty, justice, and personal responsibility. Today begins the journey to take America back. To rescue a great country now adrift, join me as together we seek a new vision for America. Today, I announce with God's help, with the help of liberty lovers everywhere, that I am putting myself forward as a candidate for President of the United States of America.
See, now that's kind of cheating, don't you think? If God's helping you, then you pretty much are going to be president. It's the ultimate endorsement. Well, Dr. Paul, if you think you can capture mainstream voters while not being mainstream and losing your base voters, then God is truly on your side. We'll be right back.
To another successful mission. I couldn't do what I do without you in my earpiece.
Head down the tunnel. You got 3 coming in. Can you imagine me as a spy?
With a gun.
What? These look delicious.
Cool.
This is very chewy.
You're eating a hand towel.
Just cleansing my palate. When I joined the CIA, I thought I was going to be this amazing spy. I'm just the same boring person I was before.
You play it too safe.
I just hear my mom's voice. Give up on your dreams, Susan. Just write that in my lunchbox.
Raina Boyanov is about to sell a tactical nuclear weapon to a terrorist organization.
I told you to send me in there.
You can't. She knows the identity of all our agents. We need someone to find the bomb without being detected.
I'll do it.
Okay, thanks, lunch lady.
You're going.
Okay.
Yeah, bring one of your cats as a sidekick.
I don't have cats.
Go see Patrick. He's got special equipment for you.
It's like the future.
You're a spy. I know. You'll be given a new identity.
Oh. Cat lady. She's missing a shirt that says I've never felt the touch of a man.
Ciao bella, come sta? Mamma mia.
It's a confidence builder.
You really think you're ready for the field? Leave the action to me.
Damn it! Who puts a roof on a scooter? What are you, the Pope?
You are not to make direct contact with any of the targets. You are incredibly out of your league.
It's not fair. Brother Butler! Get your hand out my mouth!
I'm saving you! I'm a real spy. I once drove a car off a freeway on top of a train while I was on fire. Not the car. I was on fire.
Kind of starting to freak me out. Poor little pathetic Susan. My father used to bring people here. Did he also make you dress like a slutty dolphin trainer?
Did I forget to knock?
Who are you?
You want me to have Cagney and Lacey explain it to you? Cagney's gonna come up your ass like a thunderbolt and chew off both your Swedish meatballs. You gonna cry?
I'm not gonna cry.
You're crying now!
I'm not.
I'm kind of a social media nerd. I'm also kind of a burglar. So when the people who live here posted online from tonight's game, I did what any self-respecting nerd burglar would do. I let myself in. I started selling their stuff live on the internet. But these deals won't last, so scoot your boots on over to my website and thank these people for oversharing by paying me for their stuff.
That's us.
That's you?
That's our house.
Buy Matt and Shan's stuff now at mayhemsale.com. Next up, I got this hammer. Works like a dream. You're stealing this from me for $20. Next up, this super trumpet I found in the closet.
He's selling my euphonium as a super trumpet. No, they're selling our Christmas lights. Oh my God, it's going viral. So before all of this happened, I was a major oversharer.
Perfect. Now you know about social media.
After this campaign, now I know that I need to make sure my privacy settings were set correctly, and I was only friends with people that I've known.
And it's not just for us, too. Now we get to remind other people, especially our friends, which even helps protect us a little bit.
Yeah, because everybody does this. Like, we're not unusual. Everybody does this. Everybody wants to share. And the number one thing is just to make sure you keep yourself safe.
My name's Rosemary Camposano, and I am the president and CEO of Halo Blow Dry Bars. Blow Dry Bar is a no-cut, no-color destination for women who want to get their hair shampooed and blown out and look fabulous. I actually started Halo as a part of my own passion toward employing women who might not otherwise be employed at a fair wage. Throughout all 4 stores, our POS system is handling about 800 to 1,000 transactions a day. It's vital that our connection be fast and consistent all the time. We have both Comcast Business Wi-Fi and Xfinity Wi-Fi. We use the Xfinity Wi-Fi for general guest access, and for the business, we have the Comcast Business Wi-Fi access. The speed is just blazing fast. We're located in the Silicon Valley. There are a lot of working women. Most come here and get work done while they're in the store. When we first opened up, we had a different provider, and the service was very frustrating. It could take us 3-4 minutes to check out a single client. With Comcast Business, we actually are able to check out within 3 to 5 seconds. I know that we made the right decision to go with Comcast Business Internet because it's fast and because it's reliable.
Comcast Business, built for business.
Welcome back! The top story of the day comes from the Middle East, specifically in Iran, where Republicans have been negotiating with Obama to keep Iran from having nuclear weapons. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That should have read Obama has been negotiating with Iran to disable their nuclear program. I don't know how I got those two things mixed up. Oh, wait, yes I do.
Even as he was on the road, President Obama was on the phone, dialing up nervous lawmakers who aren't sold on his nuclear deal with Iran. The president's already tried and failed to convince his biggest critic, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
This deal would pose a grave danger to the region and to the world, and would threaten the very survival of the State of Israel.
Netanyahu made that case to the president in another tense conversation between the two leaders, that he's making an historic mistake.
The deal would not shut down a single nuclear facility in Iran. The deal would legitimize Iran's illegal nuclear program.
Meanwhile, Republicans in Congress are raising questions about the administration's talking points on the deal that claim Iran will be required to grant access to international inspectors to investigate suspicious sites anywhere in the country.
The administration believes that these verifications, these examinations, these basically right to inspect is going to be sufficient. I have real concerns about that.
The White House is responding to the skeptics with a full-court press from the president and vice president on down, pleading with members of Congress to avoid passing legislation as talks with the Iranians continue. Senate Foreign Relations Chairman Bob Corker has a bill that would require congressional approval of the deal, while Senators Mark Kirk and Bob Menendez have a measure that would apply tougher sanctions on Iran.
Any comments?
That bill's fate is unclear, with Menendez facing federal corruption charges.
I'm angry because prosecutors at the Justice Department don't know the difference between friendship and corruption.
The White House argues those bills could backfire and drive Iran to pull out of the talks as the U.S. and other world powers try to craft a final nuclear deal by June 30th. In that scenario, aides say the U.S. will get the blame.
Our argument to them is that diplomacy is the best way for us to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
And the argument, that argument will be made to Democrats, but congressional aides tell us that as many as a dozen senators from the president's own party could support the Corker bill that would give Congress a final say on the nuclear deal. That may be enough votes, Brianna, to override a presidential veto, but we'll have to watch it closely.
So apparently now Obama can't even negotiate overseas without Congress meddling in. It's like being the youngest sibling in the family, and you know how to behave. But now your mom says you can't go to the mall without her, and you're all like, but Mom, you let Jackson go to the mall, and he was like 12. And your mom's all like, yeah, but you're not as cool or as strong as Jackson, so too bad, tough titties for you. But all jokes aside, and this is where it's going to get a little boring, but we're going to go into what's in the nuke deal. And, you know, it's a rare time on the show where we actually get into policy in detail, but it's something that is important to me as a host and as a journalist, to make sure that, you know, not only do you leave the show entertained, but at the same time you're leaving the show with information that you didn't previously have before, and that you can process that information and make decisions on you know, the toughest topics that can be extremely complicated. So I'm going to let you decide whether it's a bad deal or not. It's not going to be whether or not I said it, or because, you know, Israel's prime minister said it is, or because Obama said it wasn't. But, you know, the first thing in the deal is the centrifuges. Iran would have to reduce its total of about 19,000 centrifuges, 10,000 of which are still spinning today, down to 6,104 under the deal, which only 5,060 allowed to enrich uranium over the next 10 years. Centrifuges are tube-shaped machines used to enrich uranium, the material necessary for nuclear power and nuclear bombs, for those of you that don't know what those are. The second thing in the deal, big part, is uranium enrichment. Iran's centrifuges will only enrich uranium to 3.67%, enough for civil use to power parts of the country, but not enough to build a nuclear bomb. Kind of important stuff. That agreement lasts 15 years, and Tehran has agreed not to build any new uranium enrichment facilities over the period as well. 3.67 is a major decline, and it follows Iran's move to water down its stockpile of 20% enriched uranium last year. In addition, Iran will reduce its current stockpile of 10,000 kilograms of low-enriched uranium to 300 kilograms for 15 years. So, you know, major decrease there. The third thing is the breakout time. The period of time that it will take for Iran to acquire the material it needs to make one nuclear weapon, currently assessed at 2 to 3 months, would be extended to about 1 year under the deal. That year-long breakout period would be in place for at least 10 years. The fourth part is the Fordow facilities. Iran's Fordow nuclear reactor would stop enriching uranium for at least 15 years. It would have missile material at the facility, but it will be able to keep 1,000 centrifuges there. Fordow, one of the country's biggest reactors, is buried more than 200 feet under the side of a mountain and was hidden from the international community until the U.S. revealed it in 2009. Kind of sneaky stuff. Research and development can continue in its research of uranium, but that work will be limited to keep the country to its breakout time frame of 1 year. Though Iran will be required to make changes at a number of facilities, including reducing centrifuges and rebuilding a heavy water reactor in Iraq, the country will get to maintain its current facilities. Good for them. The sixth thing is inspections. Iran will be required to provide inspectors from the International Atomic Energy Agency, the UN's nuclear watchdog, access to all of its declared facilities so that the agency can ensure that there is no potential for military-related developments. That includes access to Parchin, an Iranian military facility related to its nuclear program. Western countries have been seeking unfettered access throughout Iran, not just declared facilities, as Iran has previously conducted nuclear work in secret. The seventh, sanctions lifted. The United States and the European Union will lift their nuclear-related sanctions on the Iranian economy, a priority for Iran, after a UN watchdog verifies it has taken key steps. If there are violations, the sanctions will snap back into place. U.S. sanctions will also be lifted when Iran completes its nuclear-related steps, though some peripheral restrictions will be contained in a new Security Council resolution. International reductions in purchases of Iranian oil and increased isolation of the Middle Eastern country has squeezed this economy in recent years, and the lifting of those sanctions could bring the country major financial rewards. Now, if you think that's a bad deal, or if you think it's a good deal, let us know. On our Facebook page, tweet us, Instagram, comment, whichever one. And the reason we're going to do that is because that's all the time we have. We're ending short today, but next week we're going to have a great guest for y'all. We got a treat, so join me back here next week, because boy, do we got a party for you. So we got a treat. Join us here next week. I tried to rhyme there a little bit. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. Have a really good day, everybody. Boom.